going on, guys? Bob Roche from RocheTechnology.com here with an unboxing for you of the Asus P9X79 Pro motherboard. This board supports the socket 2011 CPUs, also has the X79 chipset, which to me is kind of like a more modern socket 1366 system, which I actually own and use as my primary Hackintosh. If you'll notice, this motherboard has no display outputs. It doesn't have DVI or HDMI or anything like that that all the socket 1155 boards have. That's because the socket 2011 CPUs don't have, a video controller in them, so it kind of forgoes the video, but really this is just meant for straight performance. That's kind of what the 1366 socket is all about, just sheer performance. You have to get your own GPU, etc., etc. So this board basically is meant to really pack a punch, and we're going to be throwing a 6-core processor in here, so that punch will be, packed, I guess you could say. But before I get into the box, I'll show you around the box really quick. This board supports tons of great things, both Crossfire and SLI for multi-GPU support. You also have quad channel memory for a maximum of 64 gigabytes of memory. Really going to come in handy with really big, 3D rendering and video editing, things like that. But full UEFI BIOS, so that's always great. But you know what? I'm sick of rambling. I know you're sick of me rambling. Let's go ahead and unbox this thing. So here's the box of the P9X79 Pro from Asus. Let's go ahead and have a quick look at the front of the box here for a couple features. Precise power control, one-click speed up. Wonder if that would work, in conjunction with the Hackintosh if you get, say, like a Fusion drive up and running. Maybe, I don't know, something there could work. Easy and flexible to use. Their UEFI BIOS, always nice to have. Bluetooth enjoyment. So I think this actually might have Bluetooth on board. I actually didn't know that until right now. So we'll experiment with that. Quad channel DDR3 memory, which is always awesome. There's 8 DIMMs for, like I said, a maximum of 64 gigabytes of RAM, which is just awesome. Windows 8 ready. No comment. SLI right there, awesome, and Crossfire. So if you have dual cards, really good option for you. LGA 2011. So once again, it's that really high performance socket. Supports Intel Core i7, X79 chipset, etc., etc. I don't want to walk you through every single feature on the front and back of this, but you guys get the idea. PCI Express 3.0, SATA 2, SATA 3, tons of great features on this motherboard. So without rambling too much more about it, I'm just going to go ahead and dive right in. So a nice little flap on the front there, and you actually have like a nice little I guess chart. I don't know, chart's a bad word, but that's actually just the front, this Velcro, so you can see some features. Pretty neat. Unlike Gigabyte boards where you have kind of like a layer on top, here you're presented with the board right away, so that's pretty neat. Go ahead and take the board out of here, and we'll go ahead and we'll set this off to the side for now. So then further in the box, we have some more goodies underneath here. Here we have a 3-way SLI bridge, which is just crazy. If you want to get like 3 680s or 670s, that would just be insane, but I'm sure people are going to do it. Here you have a 2-way SLI bridge, so there you go, and a whopping 6 SATA cables. So those are going to be great for all the different drives, and if you still use them, optical drives that you want to connect, so things like that. Here we have the rear I/O for this motherboard. Have cutouts for USB and the audio down here, so nothing too crazy there. These look to be, I think maybe USB 3. I'm actually not quite sure. I know it's a speaker, ground, power LED, so there's some, if for all your front panel switches, there we go. So that's the word I was looking for. And, power, ground and stuff for a USB header. So moving that off to the side. CPU installation. If you don't know, this is going to be, pretty good reference for you. Pretty cool that they included in the box. And, surprisingly, a decent amount of, paper material here. And so here's actually 2, count them, 2 DVDs for, whatever have you, maybe BIOS versions and things like that. But not too much else to the box. So let's go ahead and we'll take out the actual board. So here's the motherboard itself. Go ahead and touch something metal real quick, because I know I'm going to get people that freak out on me if I don't at least try to, discharge any electricity. And off comes the plastic. So put the plastic off to the side. And, rather than try to juggle this board, I'm just going to go ahead and try to get a little close-up on it for you guys. So I'm not going to go over every single feature on this board, but I guess I'm going to start up here with the heart, or really, I guess, the brain of the system. Go ahead and try to zoom in a little bit more for you guys. Here we have the CPU socket. Like I said, 2011 humongous CPU socket. In case you saw my 3930K unboxing, the i7, the 6-core processor, humongous compared to 1155 or 1366, but of course that's because it has about 500 more pins, give or take. Right to the left and right of that, we have all the RAM slots. You can see 4 here and another 4 here, quad channel memory, maximum of 64 gigabytes, which is awesome. That'd be great for like a RAM disk too, so awesome stuff there. Here at top here we have some cooling, heat pipes even down here going to the actual chipset, north and south bridge, things like that. Here we have, try to get this a little bit more in the shot here, 4 PCI Express slots. We have a PCI 1X up here as well as down here. There's no legacy PCI, which, I mean, if you have a build like this, you probably don't need it anyway, so that's not a very big deal. Moving up here, standard 24-pin power connector. Up top, I've seen pretty good amount of fan headers here. We have 2 fan headers up here, 1 more right there, 1 more right there. Directly underneath that, we have a USB 3.0 header for front panel USB ports. Here we have 8 SATA ports. 2 of them are SATA 2, 4 of them are SATA 2, and 4 of them are SATA 3. Down here we have all your front panel switches. Down here we have all these different USB headers. We have a power and a reset on right on the board here, which is nice. EPU, honestly, I'm not quite sure what that is. That's my first experience with that, so I'll have to do some more research on that. Or if I know you guys as well as I think I know you guys, within a couple days there'll be someone down below with a full description of what exactly that is, so kudos to you. Here we have a nice little PCB. I'm not sure if that displays real-time temperatures of the CPU or whether that gives error messages or just boot up codes, things like that. But there you guys go. That's pretty much everything I wanted to discuss with the board, in terms of on the front. Another fan header there. And so now we'll go on the back to the rear I/O. So up top we have 4 USB 2.0 ports. Down there, BIOS, I assume that's like a CMOS reset switch. There we have a standard RJ45 Ethernet port right there. Below that, 2 USB 3.0 ports. There we have optical audio, 2 eSATA ports, 2 more USB 3.0 ports. Not quite sure what that is, that little guy up there. Maybe that's the little Bluetooth they were talking about. Honestly, I'm really not sure what that is. I'll have to look into that. But 2 more USB 2.0 ports, and of course, the standard audio out. I'm not sure off the top of my head, but I think this board uses ALC 892 for the audio codec. So that's, the audio chipset rather. So that should be pretty nice for the Hackintosh world. But that's pretty much all I wanted to show you guys in terms of this motherboard. Be sure to check out my channel in the coming days to weeks for the live build of this system. You can see the board a little bit more up close and personal. But until then, thank you very much for watching. I'm at CPU Kid on Twitter. Also be sure to check out RocheTechnology.com, and I'll see you guys in my next video.